And welcome back to the SA Sports Show with you, Greg Anderson and Barry Curtin. Just an incredible guest, our next one, Barry. Daniel Kirk, welcome, mate.
Yeah, thanks, Greg.
After about 130 games for Tasmania Devils and also Glenelg Football Club, you unfortunately had to change your sporting career.
Yeah, absolutely. Very fortunate to have had that sort of career at a state level and really enjoyed the footy. But it all came to sort of a bit of a crashing end in 2012 and damaged my ankle, and I came to find out that I guess that it was beyond repair. So
it was beyond repair. It's just amazing.
Yeah. So look, it wasn't something I expected, and most of us sort of in the football world sort of think that an ankle was strap it up and get back out there, or give it a couple of weeks. But you know, I was sports science background, so I sort of did all the things right and all the rehab, and it just never came good.
You better take us through the ankle here, because we hear of ankle injuries and, you know, terrific, you know, miss 4 or 5. This might be a bad one, it'll be 8 weeks, but this is an incredible injury because it stopped you in your tracks. You play no more. Yeah,
I never walked again. Sorry, I walked again, obviously never walked again pain-free, sort of, I guess, and certainly never ran again. So I'm told the injury was a sort of compression and shearing of the ankle joint as I landed.
In a contest,
in a contest, just leading out from half forward flank and jumped for a mark and came down.
It felt nasty though when you landed.
It felt really violent, but you still don't think that's the end of running for you or the end of playing footy. So it was a fair shock, like as you sort of came to realise that over the next couple of years.
7 operations later, you've gone overseas as well to have some
I contemplated going overseas. Ended up going down to Melbourne for the support, like to have people that are around me to be able to get through those surgeries. But look, it was a case of I had 3 surgeries quite early on. Became quickly apparent that wasn't helping, so we took a break from that. Looked at some more advanced procedures overseas, and then tried to get a surgeon in Melbourne to replicate those, and unfortunately they weren't successful, I guess.
We spoke earlier about finishing a career. Any player playing any sport that plays it for a long time. You played footy. You would have played footy all your life, and right up until the time you've had the injury. Then there's a time of reflection because you're not going to play anymore.
No.
So it's virtually a change of life. So you've got to go through a period now of what am I going to do? That's your next big question. And you would have gone through that.
Yeah, look, it was really confronting. Obviously, you know, a lot of people, and I'm sure you guys went through it as well, like sport's such a huge part of your life, and it becomes your identity. It becomes something you're sort of known for. Like, you know, you're either a hard nut or you're an athletic sort of athlete, and so you really identify with that. And when that disappears overnight, it's like I said, it's hugely confronting.
You've taken your new sport by storm, though. Athletics, discus, and Barry, I will share this with you. I was because I'm still competing in the over 35s, or you could probably even say
the over 35?
Yeah, just. But probably could be even over 50s. And I was just about to get in the triple jump, and the commentator said, "Everyone, let's stop." And so I wasn't allowed to jump, and let's all go to Daniel Kirk. He's about to go for the Australian record over in the discus, and we all stopped and looked over. There's this great big beast of a man. And it was a huge throw. I think that qualified you for the worlds and all that sort of stuff. And so you had everyone, stop for your throw, and it was brilliant. So you must love it.
Yeah, look, I've fallen in love with the sport. When I first took it up, I probably underestimated how technical and complex it'd be. You know, you play football and beach volleyball and different things, and you think, oh, well, this is just one skill, and it's an insanely complex skill, and you're constantly refining it. And you know, I'm lifting bigger weights now than what I was playing football, even with the ankle impairment. So, like I said, you got to be big to do it. And but there's a real thrill in it. I mean, you know what it's like to snap a goal in the pocket, or to burn off an opponent from half back line and snag a goal yourself. Well, I get that when I hit a good throw, when I see that.
But it comes out of your hand, and you know it's just breezing through it.
Yeah, there's something really sort of satisfying about it.
Well, you made your Australian debut and went to London. Now, you've broken an Australian and Oceania record during those games. I mean, that's an amazing performance, really, given how little time you've been in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I mean, we've all got sort of highlights in our career, I guess. Pulling your first state Guernsey and suiting up for Glenelg in SNFL and those sort of things, and playing in a grand final. And but look, being in the middle of London Stadium, like in front of like a phenomenal amount of people, where they had the London Olympics and you know, it was just insanely good, and I was just, I guess, lucky at later stages of your career. You sort of, I guess, you can calm yourself down a little bit more. You can have a little bit more sort of perspective on things, and so I just went in there with the focus of enjoying it. Like, just go in there and learn as much as you can and soak it up. And you know, they talk about that in grand finals, and some people get overwhelmed and others don't. And you know, I've probably, you know, had those moments during footy career, and lucky to get to it in a discus career and just go, this is great, and I can't wait to compete.
And you're pretty handy at the shot put as well, by the way. I mean, like, you know.
I'm okay. I wouldn't say too handy. Like, you know, on a state or national level, sure, but there were some big boys at Worlds. Yeah, like I'm talking like 150 kilo men. So I don't know, come close to that.
Tokyo.
Tokyo, yeah.
There's got to be a goal for Tokyo now. If you've broken records here, we're not sure where you fit in the world stage.
Oh, look, it's got to be a medal, doesn't it? I mean, that's what you go to these things for. And for me, that's about 5 or 6 years into my development, which is still relatively early, but...
But your event's so technical, isn't it? And
it
it's
is.
interesting what you said, because you can throw just as much power and get to your 50, or you can just hit that sweet spot and it can go 55.
Yeah, and it's often the one that feels like your last warm-up throw or a training throw that's the one that does it, and you sort of hit it out there and you go back with all this enthusiasm on the next throw, and sometimes if you're too keen, you try too hard and it goes worse. So it's certainly a rhythmic event.
Wow.
Yeah.
Opening ceremonies, that must have been you know, all great fun and part of it all, just being part of it all.
Yeah, look, it was. It's not the same. Like, I'm really looking forward to a Paralympic Games. The opening ceremonies are much more elaborate and the events, but in terms of the competition and London, look, the UK does it beautifully. They had 250,000 pre-sold tickets to that event, leading into it. Like, you know, you don't hear about that for parasport anywhere else in the world, really. Like, you know, we've seen some great stuff at the Commonwealth Games just recently, and some really good stuff with Kurt Fearnley and Marty Jackson and Cam Crombie and Madeline Rosario, and you know, it's great. These people are starting to become household names, and that's what they had in the UK. You know, they knew who Kurt Fearnley was. They, you know, Hannah Cockcroft and all these other, you know, they're household names. People come to watch them. You know, Johnny Peacock. There was people that turn up to the stadium just to watch him run.
Well, you're getting there. I mean,
Exactly.
You're getting there in the SA Athletics. I mean, it was just amazing. You know, when you went to throw and the whole stadium stopped for you. You know, it was great. I think I started my run up, but
waiting for you, Andrew.
They were waiting for
I
me.
wouldn't have against you,
Waiting
mate.
for you. I must ask you this, mate.
Yeah,
because
sure.
when you finish and you go through a downtime, when you finish your footy, you know you've got a bad leg.
Yeah.
It's downtime. It's really down mentally.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whatever. You must have had some incredible support, and I mean that, to get you through, because you need it to get you through. To get here. Where you are.
It was amazing. Like, my partner, who's now my wife, we only met sort of after my 3rd operation, so she's never known me as an able-bodied sort of person. You know, just some really close, just genuine people that were just there for me. You know, picked me up, and I spoke before we went on camera about having an external fixator. So you got pins and rods, so basically poking out of your leg, open wounds for 3 months. And I had friends that had come around, pick me up, take me to the gym, load my bars, unload my bars.
Wow.
You know, and they get nothing out of it themselves other than the satisfaction of seeing me a little bit, you know, I guess less struggling and a little bit happier, and knowing that they'd done a good thing. And you know, to have those people in your life is amazing.
Great story.
Well, Daniel, thank you so much for coming.
pleasure.
It's just
Thanks, boys.
You know, it's sad, but it's such a wonderful story.
Keep an eye on him.
Yeah, we're going to keep an eye on him. Yeah,
Absolutely.
And all the best for representing, you know, South Australia and Australia, you know, and you know, have a great time.
Excellent. Thanks,
Well done,
guys.
mate.
Appreciate your time.
Well done.
Thanks.
Daniel.
We'll be back shortly. Thank you.